Welcome back once again, all of my low carb friends, and for those of you who are here for the first time, welcome. Today I have another very easy keto recipe for you. And if you want a printable version of this recipe, you can check out my website at janetsdeliciouslowcarbkitchen.com. You can find a printable version of this recipe and other goodies there for you. And if you're new to the channel and you want to see lots of easy, delicious, low-carb keto recipes, make sure you click that subscribe button and click the notification bell that's right next to the subscribe button. That way you can be notified every time I put out new videos. And if you are a music lover, make sure you check out the link in the description to my other YouTube channel, Inspirational Songs with Janet. I've posted another new song there, so make sure you check that out and subscribe there also. And if you would like to help support this channel, make sure you scroll down in the description of the video. You'll see some affiliate links. Anytime you purchase anything using those affiliate links, a small portion of your purchase will go to me and help support the channel. So while we do all that, let's get cooking. Preheat your oven to 350 degrees. Lightly grease an 8 by 8 inch cake pan with a little bit of cooking spray or butter, then set it aside for a minute. Preheat a large 12-inch skillet over medium heat for about 3 to 5 minutes or just until it's warm. Crumble 1.5 to 2 pounds of lean ground beef into small pieces and scatter it throughout your skillet. I used probably around 1.5 pounds, but if you're wanting a more full casserole, then use closer to 2 pounds. Season the beef with some salt and pepper or any dry seasonings or spices that you want. I usually just do a little bit of salt and pepper and some onion powder, garlic powder, paprika, and usually a little bit of dry Italian seasonings, but you just season the beef however you want it to taste. Stir the seasonings together with the beef until fully combined. Then cook the beef, stirring frequently for about 5 to 7 minutes or until it is no longer pink. Make sure you stir it frequently so it does not stick to your skillet and so you get the beef browned on all sides. Once the beef is done cooking, remove it from the heat. Drain off any extra fat that might be in the skillet. I use extra lean ground beef, so I really don't have any extra fat in my skillet. It's okay if there's a little bit in there, but you just don't want a lot of excess fat in there. Then set your beef skillet aside for a minute. Place 452 grams or around 2 cups of full-fat cottage cheese in a food processor or blender. I'm using full-fat cottage cheese that contains roughly around 4% milk fat. I haven't tried using low-fat or skim cottage cheese. I think it would make your filling a little bit on the watery side, so I would suggest staying with a thicker texture of cottage cheese. Process the cottage cheese in your food processor or blender for about 1 minute or until it is completely smooth. Make sure it is 100% smooth. If you want to, you can add some dry seasonings or some spices to give your mixture a little bit of flavor. I usually add a teaspoon each of onion powder, garlic powder, dry Italian seasoning, chicken bouillon granules, and about a 1/4 teaspoon of pepper. But again, you can season this however you want this to taste. Stir in 12 ounces of cooked fresh or frozen vegetables of your choice. I just used a bag of frozen mixed vegetables. Of course, this is not a 100% keto-friendly blend because it contains corn, amongst other things, but I've used many different blends in this, so you can use any mixture of vegetables that you want. If you are using frozen vegetables, you don't need to thaw them. You can just put them in there frozen. Stir the vegetables in until they are fully combined. Stir the blended cottage cheese into your skillet that has your cooked beef until they are fully combined and coated with the cottage cheese mixture. Then set it aside for a minute. Cut 9 cooked keto biscuits in half to create a top and a bottom portion. I'll leave a link in the description to my updated keto biscuits. That's what I used for this. However, if you do use my recipe, it only makes 7 biscuits, so you'll need to either do 1.5 to double the recipe in order to have enough biscuits. I forgot to do that, so I had to improvise with my last couple of biscuits, and I just used a couple of bread rounds. But if you make 1.5 the recipe or double the recipe, you'll have more than enough biscuits to cover this. Place the bottom portion of the biscuits cut side up in a single layer side by side over the bottom of your prepared cake pan. Top the biscuits with the shredded cheese of your choice. I'm using Colby cheese and I used probably close to a cup. You're just wanting enough to scatter across the top. Spread the beef mixture evenly over the shredded cheese that's on the biscuits. Top the beef mixture with some more shredded cheese, and again, I'm using Colby. And again, I use probably close to a cup, just enough to completely cover the beef mixture. Place the top portions of the biscuits side by side in a single layer over the beef and cheese mixture. Then place the casserole in your preheated oven. Bake at 350 degrees for 20 to 25 minutes or until the cheese is melted and the casserole is completely heated through. Once the casserole is done cooking, remove it from the oven and allow it to sit in the pan for about 5 minutes before serving it. After 5 minutes, cut your desired size portion, place it on the serving tray of your choice, and serve it immediately. If you do have any leftovers, allow the casserole to cool completely, then store it in an airtight container in your refrigerator for up to 3 days, or you can store this in an airtight container in your freezer for up to 1 month. If you do choose to freeze it, I would suggest cutting it into your desired size pieces, then wrapping the pieces individually, and then put them in a freezer-safe plastic container. That way you can just take out whatever portion you want, let it thaw, and boom, have a quick meal there. Either way, eat and enjoy. And that's the recipe of the day. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did and you want to see more recipes like this, make sure you click that thumbs up like button, click that subscribe button, leave me a comment if you want to. Let me know if there's any recipes that you'd like to learn how to make, and I'll do what I can to get those out there for you. And as always, keep cooking. In a medium saucepan with the heat off, combine 1/4 cup of granulated swerve or granulated sweetener of your choice and 1/4 teaspoon of salt. Whisk these together until they're fully combined. Add 3 large eggs and 2 cups of the milk of your choice. Whisk these all together until they're fully combined and smooth. Make sure the egg yolks are thoroughly whisked in with all the ingredients. Turn on the heat to medium and gently whisk the mixture continuously over medium heat for about 7 to 8 minutes or until the mixture reaches about 160 degrees. Now, if you don't have a thermometer, it's okay. You just want to look for the mixture to just start steaming a little bit. Basically, all you're wanting to do is to cook the eggs enough to where no bacteria can form. Once the mixture is steaming a little bit, remove it from the heat. Add 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract, 1/8 teaspoon of ground cinnamon, 1/8 teaspoon of ground ginger, and 1/8 teaspoon of nutmeg or allspice. Whisk these all together until they're fully combined and the seasonings are evenly distributed throughout the mixture. Now you can adjust these spices or change them according to your personal taste. Once everything's all combined, I like to pour this through a sieve first, just to make sure that if there are any big chunks of the spices left, that they get strained out of the eggnog. And then after I pour it through the sieve, then I pour it into my mason jar or whatever container I'm planning to store the eggnog in. Once it is poured into your mason jar or whatever container you're planning to store the eggnog in, place it into the refrigerator without the lid on it for about 20 minutes or just to make sure that the eggnog is not hot. After 20 minutes, put the lid on your mason jar or whatever container that you're using to store the eggnog in. Place it back in the refrigerator and chill it for at least 1 hour before serving it. Once you're ready to use it, pour it into the glass of your choice, and you can store the leftovers in your refrigerator for up to 3 days.